It's Midnight Marauders. We have a very, very special guest on our show this evening. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is VICEVERSAH.
VICEVERSAH.
All right.
VICEVERSAH. Vice for short. You can call me Vice.
So we actually found VICEVERSAH via one of our interns.
Yep. I don't know where she went, actually.
Big ups to Megan.
She's here tonight?
Yeah, she's actually
somewhere
on our show.
You got to tell her to say what's up.
She just walked in, so maybe we'll get her on the microphone after the music break.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
There. Yeah.
Hi, Megan.
She can't hear you, actually.
We'll tell her I said hello when you see her.
All right.
Next.
Definitely.
All right. So we're here with VICEVERSAH, Boston by way of New York, right?
Well, yeah, I was born in New York, so Boston by way of New York.
Okay, so
Nice.
let's kick off an interview. What you just heard was off the new album, right? Can you tell us a little bit about the project before we get into some specifics?
Well, the project is called Shine Not Burn, and it's been in the works for like over 2 years now, a little bit over 2 years. And we had a transition from studio. We started working on it in one studio, and we moved into a much bigger studio, but with transition, you know, that takes time. So basically the project took a little longer than we wanted it to. But in the result, you know, we got to do a little more editing and take a little more time with the song selection. We had more material to work with, and we ended up with a really good, like, third studio album.
Okay. When does that drop?
That's going to drop early December.
Okay.
Nice,
So-
nice.
Is that it was scheduled for a fall release? That's part of the delay you were talking about, right? Now, I know you guys are a part of the AR Classic crew. Who's on the album? What can we expect from the album?
Well, actually, in the past, I've reached out to, like, I guess more famous artists to, you know, get featured on my projects. This album, we didn't do that. We worked more with people that like we did shows with, people that we like interacted with locally that we respected, you know. So we brought them into the fray basically and put them on the album. And so it doesn't have anything that's like, it doesn't have any contrived features, anything like that. You know, it's just people. There are a few features on it, but they're just kind of, you know, they kind of fit. You know what I mean? It's not covered with features. It's a lot of my own.
So it more complements your work than. Yeah,
it complements me. You know, we're not trying to do like, we're not trying to like sell big names here or anything. We're just trying to actually make good songs. So, you know,
It's nice for a change.
yeah.
Now, some of the features are you're part of the High Life. That new video We Came to Rock is making some noise on the blogs. Also, I see you on Potholes a lot. I don't know if you know Zach Cole, but he's writing about you a lot on Potholes. Now, what does that collective like bring that's different than your individual work?
Well, the High Life is 4 dudes, and
Right.
and they all of us come from. Well, that's actually 5 if you include the producer. So we all come from very different places. You know what I mean? And we have like very distinct styles, I would say, because none of us really like two of the dudes came up together, but the rest of us kind of linked up just recently, and we'd all been rapping for years and years before that. So we'd all developed, like, you know, we'd been through whatever with different crews and cliques and stuff like that, and just developed our own sounds. So now we just, you know, we basically all just complement each other, and we're trying to make records that make people move. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the stuff that I put out, I consider kind of headphone music. Like, I think people will really like it, you know, if they're like, you know, snowboarding or something. They got it in their headphones, you know, it'll pump them up, get them amped and stuff like that. Some of it will go nice in a club, you know, get people moving. But the High Life stuff is kind of grimy, kind of underground. But we really want to get people like partying with that music. You know what I mean?
It's nice though, because then you have sort of two different parts of the spectrum, I guess you could say. So you kind of get to mess around with both sides. Do you feel like one side you prefer over the other, or do you feel like both are equally important to you?
Well, definitely in the beginning of my career, like just like my own personal stuff was way more important.
Yeah.
But now I'm beginning to see the importance of
the group work.
the group work and a little bit more like universal appeal, not like mass appeal, but like just relatability.
Yeah.
Even maybe they can hear that, and then they'll look into you more, get to hear the other stuff as well.
Yeah.
Is there a High Life album coming out?
Yeah, there's gonna be an EP dropping probably by, I would say, the spring.
Okay.
All right.
Solid.
All right, so you want to get into some music right now, or?
Yeah, let's play that rock song. I like that one a lot.
All right, let's get into that right now.
4 times today.
We'll be back with some more interview after this. Let's play that, and then how about you talk about right now a little bit off the album. We'll play those 2 songs. So just tell the listeners what they're gonna hear with right now.
Right now is it's kind of a very personal joint. Talk about like struggles that I've had in the past. You know, I don't really paint it out like a very clear picture. I kind of try to leave it more artistic a little bit and let I put a little word exercise in there. Maybe more astute listeners can hear it when they listen. But it was built around that, and then just this sick like heartwarming beat that I got. So I just put this chorus over it talking about my mother, and it all just came together, you know what I mean?
All right, we'll start with that one, then we'll go to We Came to Rock. You're listening to Midnight Marauders with Vice Versa. We'll be back.
So, could you talk a little bit about how you came up, how you decided you want to be a rapper, influences, that sort of thing?
Well, yeah, I was always a writer. My father's a writer, so I kind of had that in my blood. Like when I was going to school, I was always thinking I was going to be a writer or whatever. Not necessarily a poet, and then I wasn't really writing novels and stories too much, and then all of a sudden this rhyming came along like in my life maybe when I was 15. So I guess that was like 97. And so yeah, I was just, I just started at a party in a cypher with a freestyle, and it was terrible, but
that's where it all begins, right?
That's where it all begins, right?
It's interesting that you say that, because it's just it seems funny to me that there's never a rapper who raps for a year and then just all of a sudden has it going for him. It seems like you really have to hone your craft after a while. It doesn't just come easily, and a lot of people think, oh, I can be a rapper. It's almost like there's a lot more to that, and it's true. You try freestyling for the first time, anybody, and it's like, what am I doing, and then after a while you get it, so.
Yeah, man, but it's much more than that. All of a sudden you realize once you start like, trying to actually be an MC, then you're writing songs, and then that's a whole nother challenge, you know what I mean? And some people who can really excel with, freestyling or whatever, or just blowing up a party, they can't write a song for the life of them.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Or even getting up on a mic, just spitting like, without a mic is much different than spitting on a mic. It's a whole different thing. There's so many different levels of the art form that you have to master.
Yeah, that's true. You don't see Jin like coming out with great albums. He's more of just a battle rapper, I guess you could say.
I guess, man. I mean, he's probably got some good delivery on the mic, but like, yeah, you don't see him putting together classic. Classic records. No,
that's true.
Speaking of classic records, let's talk a little bit about AR Classics. Is that affiliated with High Life? Is that something different? What's going on with AR Classic Records?
AR Classic Records is a label that was started by the Archetype, my chief producer, who is also the in-house producer at the Bridge Sound and Stage, where we do most of our work. And I'm on AR Classic Records. The High Life is also on AR Classic Records. And all the members of the High Life on AR Classic Records. So,
do they have their own, like, is it individual deals or is it?
Yeah, it is individual deals. The High Life doesn't have a collective deal yet. It's mostly just individual deals, and we haven't even released anything, so we haven't really gotten to that point yet. We just went public with the YouTube video and the single and whatnot. I mean, we have this one single on iTunes, but we haven't released the album yet. So, we'll finalize all that deal stuff a little bit later.
I want to get back to how you got started. On your bio, it said New York, NYU.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we see a lot of rappers going to New York instead of coming to Boston. what was that transition like for you, and what's the differences you see in the scenes in New York and in Boston?
Well, New York is crazy. You know, I was born in New York and I lived there till I was 7, and then I came over to Boston. So I didn't have a choice to make a transition at that point in my life. But I did actually end up going to college in New York for a year, and the rap scene over there is definitely broader. You know what I mean? There's a lot more shows. There's a lot more ciphers. There's a lot more rappers. There's a lot more everything in New York. Around here, it's kind of like a small lake, and you got a lot of like big fishes. You know what I mean? Which can be a problem. You know, but it's also cool because a little independent unit like us, once we get the gears rolling and stuff, we can start putting on our own shows and really we don't have to rely on promoters or club owners, who may or may not want to put us on.
Right. So are you saying basically Boston is a better place for someone like you and someone like your collective to get started and to get more of a following because there are less people here?
I think so, yeah. I mean, definitely New York is pretty saturated.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, America's pretty saturated with hip-hop, but there haven't been too many people to blow out of Boston. No really talented people to name of recently, on a major scale. So that's always kind of exciting, because if we could do it, that would be a first.
I feel like also it's nice to come in Boston and start your scene up because there's just so many college kids here. It's like at NYU or Columbia, there's them, but in comparison to the rest of the whole city of New York, it's almost like you have people who aren't necessarily the young kids always just listening. Here it's like there's so many young people, there's so much more opportunity for things to go viral, like you could go viral in a second from college to college, whereas there could be completely different. So
yeah, the college base is it's crazy. It's just it's a shame that the colleges don't have like bigger venues that they have local artists come in and perform. It's kind of hard to break into that for some reason. But yeah, I mean it's like a great asset to have.
Speaking of fans, is there a certain type of fan that your music is geared toward? Is there like can you classify what you consider your fans to be? What kind of hip hop they like?
I guess I always thought skateboarders, like in general, would probably like the music.
Skateboarders, okay.
Because you mentioned the snowboarding earlier.
Yeah, that people, the adrenaline junkies, people like that. I guess younger people, whatever, just older people just don't seem to really relate. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like people filled with energy and stuff.
You said adrenaline. That's something I noticed in a lot of your work. Is you bring a lot of adrenaline into the song. Like, I feel like my heart rate goes up when I listen to you. So I definitely hear that skateboarder thing.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. I always keep an idea in my mind of what the pinnacle of my art form, what I'm trying to do is, and then every song I try to further that, and right now I'm kind of on this like I want it to be a high level, kind of in your face, like high volume intensity of rhyming and sound and like meaning and stuff that keeps you interested constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you personally skateboard?
I used to. That's probably why. Yeah. Yeah. I'm my bones are brittle now. I'm like 27 years old.
Time for retirement.
Yeah, from the skateboarding, definitely.
Yeah.
Move on to rapping. Move on to my rap career.
We talked about the big fish in Boston. Who do you want to work with in Boston specifically that you haven't had a chance to yet?
In Boston, probably. I'd love to do a track with Mo Pope. That'd be cool. He's one of the more talented individuals in the city.
He was supposed to come in here a couple weeks ago, but he never showed up. But yeah, his new album is amazing. Life After God. If you guys haven't heard that, you got to get it.
That's real dope.
Yeah. So Mo Pope. Anyone else?
Rex. I'd have to say Rex. I like some of the stuff that he's doing, and he's been around forever. I got a lot of respect for that dude because I seen him rapping in front of clubs like 8-10 years ago, just freestyling and whatnot, and he was just doing that forever. And now he's kind of popping off, so I got a lot of respect for him. And this dude Stu Cat, who actually I think moved back to Florida. You know Stu Cat?
Yeah.
Funny story about Stu Cat.
We know Stu Cat.
I was an intern on a show last year, and he came in, and Bill actually called into the show, and Stu Cat dissed Bill. So,
That's my voice. Said I sound like a little girl.
So Bill and I went home, like threw together a diss track on Stu Cat, made it in like an hour and a half.
Put it on YouTube.
And put it on YouTube.
On the Rat-a-tat Wildcat beat.
And put it on Stu Cat's wall. And we're like, yo, stop dissing my boy. But I guess we weren't big enough. I guess we weren't big enough to get any attention from.
But you didn't get a response, so maybe you killed the beat.
Yeah, maybe he didn't want to come back.
Knockout.
It's so funny you mentioned that because it was literally probably like this time a year ago. Like, oh, it's so funny.
Well, actually, I got Stu Cat on this latest record. He's one of the features.
Nice, nice, dude.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Except for dissing Bill, of course. But.
Yeah, right.
We'll put the past behind,
And look, getting back to Boston area rappers for possible collabs. In looking through Boston area rappers, we've seen Ed O.G. gets on a lot of different people, like people who are trying to come up. We find him on all sorts.
He's on the Mopope record. So is Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he seems to be on a lot of up and coming guys. He's not afraid to drop a guest verse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another. I mean, that's just another Boston area rapper who's critically acclaimed too.
He was on the James and the Giant Beats record, which was the latest record that I released in 2008.
So you've worked with him already?
I have.
Oh,
okay.
nice, nice. That's a big accomplishment right there. He's like, I don't know. He's one of my favorite Boston rappers, I think.
Who was your favorite to work with? Because you've worked with legends like Ed O.G. and Kool G Rap. Who do you think has brought the best out of you?
Well, man, sadly, this is gonna bring a tear to my eye because the favorite person that I ever worked with was this dude Killa, and he just passed away like last year from diabetes. But I did 2 tracks with him. He was just this dude from New York, and somehow I got linked up with him from Archetype, knew some rapper who knew this dude. And he was kind of old school. He came up with Tragedy Gaddafi, and he was on a track in 1996 with Cameron and RZA and Tragedy Gaddafi. Just like he was, and he used to be Mobb Deep's DJ back in like the early 90s. So this dude was very well connected and just the illest MC and such a pleasure to work with. Like just the best dude. So rest in peace to this dude, Killa.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to get into We Elevating, and then maybe you want to rap a little bit after the music break?
Yeah, if you got a beat, I'll drop a 16 for you.
All right, so we're going to get into We Elevating, which is also on the new album. Say a little something about that before we get into it.
We Elevating is kind of a party track featuring the songstress Kiki, and it's actually an older joint, but it stays fresh every time I hear it. It's like the first time I heard it, so it's kind of crispy. I think you'll like it. Check it out.
All right, we'll be back, Midnight Marauders.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot for coming in. Any last words? Any place where our listeners can check you out?
Well, definitely go to iTunes. I got 3 singles out there from the Shine Not Burn: the We Elevating, League of the Pros, and what's the other one called? Right Now. There we go.
Everything you heard tonight.
Everything you heard tonight, and then we got the High Life single out there. We Came to Rock. And then I think you should definitely jump on YouTube and check out the High Life We Came to Rock video, because that is crazy.
Yeah.
And we need
like
views. So if you post it, check it out and share it with your friends. Post it on the wall, whatever.
We'll throw it on our friends' blogs too. I have a blog, and I'll throw it on mine tonight if that helps in any way, shape, or form.
Definitely.
for all
Definitely.
Your followers.
It's been said to be the best hip-hop video to come out of Boston in years.
In years.
I actually read that.
That was in print. We didn't say it.
Wow.
I think, yeah, I read that the other day.
Who said that?
That might have been Zach Cole, the guy I was talking about.
It might have been.
Yeah, I don't really remember, but all right, this has been Vice Versa.
This has been a great interview, actually. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, we forgot about the favorite ice cream flavor.
Nah, no
Too
favorite.
late. Too late.
But we're gonna get into a self-titled joint right now, called The Deal Maker. It's probably one of my favorite albums of the year. Vice Versa, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate it.
No doubt.
We'll see you soon. And this is called The Deal Maker.